We should not, get on our high horse, the karangai nakutumetan, kalitawitan. Ari, every story, no matter how crazy it sounds, have an element of truth in it. So we should not disregard anyone's story. Okay, this is an example. Tiko irunga kono ite mongo marae marua.
Yep.
Ramur. Traingo na tinu mana ikapi na enurur jini ikapi. Te me angoki riro mai ko riro a Yesu ko Yesu nga tua au. Te tua te me tua Yesu misi. Mataroa. Are tangate tamaki ako. Neke rato kiri kitai. Patu i tona palace. Patu te aripure. Te taura oire. Tara te mere mane tuportia o ngā ngai uku meiri a tino mana a ino rurutini e te ngā mea rangatira ona uki rato nā kone me rato tia o marae nā kone me tia ngā ero tukirunga ko pike tukirunga te rai te monga akara e here tona iti tangata matahara tika e te ki te anga te what's happening here maru tona ngako maru takiri tona manako I'm gonna die in peace. So a great burden was lifted off his mind. Kapige ere tra mongo ere rai maru. Are ko rai maru, matatu rai maru. The pronunciation of taingo rai maru. Rai maru. Te mi ako ere ro tapi aro in primary school te tu e mage matu with grade 1 me form 2 wat ma. Te tu. Tramo mo te mo titiro trai Rarotonga. Mo tona titiro au te mata. Pina takiri te rā, te mara mo te rā e. Tai me pākurunga kone, iti mo te rā ki runga tuire, ono oru i pupu. Te o pupu ngkato toka, te umera takitumu ka ambush uera ti pupu tangata. So, pure rā tuire ki te tuire kia, paria te rā mongo ki pat. Paria tipui. Now, at the same time, you have to take a caremo. Uki te taronga akara etu e take, because caremo, no tau caremo, nuri careu, maro te enu careu. So, kuki te elders ari, e take teu taunga are, me tutato de monga, ka ua, ano o me te ua. Ara ko te marama, and that's a scientific fact. Now, pure rato, regi to rato o tuere, ino rato te mong. Na, e te pure, akre te upami tau rato, te puputangata, ka rato ino rato mong. Te puputangata kone, te ino rato te mong. We're gonna kill two birds with one stone. Pari rato te, pe ki runga ko. Te amuanga lau ki mga tia, rai purpururu ere te au. Io putonga ere te rea, ta i prekaloko e, tai tukuru te, ari tai tika ki runga tika e enua pururu, naru te troto, ia take, tōtu i rea ki runga e te, tōtu i rea ki runga teo nea, i runga ki the main island ia take. Ia ti ngotana mong?
Mongo pu.
Mongo pu. Okay. Mongo pu. Me toko mingi tika mga takaronga tito, weti to te iu tika tito, ka take pinga tamlonga tito, e me uki, e me legend ua, myth ua. Okay. Tatau au te tai record na papi ia ti tata. Arme uki eia, o tino mana te ariki mua i ariki te wangeria. Tānai ariki, tānai akakite uki ea. Tino mana te ariki mua. Ina, ere ue te ipunga i tiria. Na tino mana i tono i e tāna o ngā boys, ki ariki makea, akite ki makea, ki ariki mai a papi ia. Ere te ipunga, akamata ere te api ia makea. Ia e api ira ia makea. Ito koe me imagine ua koe a papi ia mea Yesu re. Me era Yesu e te urupu tangata re te ara. Toru anere tangata, ru anere tangata. So tiko e makea takapini ki a o te paris o te are o makea i tangata. Ia e share nei te gospel. Tai mai te karere. Tai mai te tumutono aroronga mai. Nā roto mai e tara urupu tangata kāpiki mai ki popi. e tia ki mera tino mana ia. O tia tino mana i te kuiku me tōna au, taura atu, haa atu. O akaputu, i te teiputunga o te. E tia ki mera ia koe, a re ka tau. A re e tau oe, i e tēra o mua ka. Karu ke iria a papi e ia makea, wako mai rea ki aro. Ia tātou, narungu mai motaka ka re rai, are, e wok tara. E rume narungu mai motaka, narungu mai te wewe. Pita fit. I tōna ere nga rau ki e te tangata rea te arume nga. Karu ke nātu a makea, koe iana ka rea tō makea. Nini uki e ano tītupu taraya. Anyway, that's another story. Te e tā, pape i e tata. A e rea tūra mātou ki runga te maunga o tino mana. Ko hi oki ka maunga pū. Te maramaro e. A e rea tūra mātou ki runga te maunga o tino mana. Ko hi oki ka maunga pū.
And that's no reira mai te ingo o mongo pū.
Ia tak.
Ia taki.
Nā, Wa awo tatu dratua tatu ia kalunga primary school. I te kite anga o te ingo tra maunga karanga pape ie o maunga pu te ingo tra maunga. Te yogi o Raimor. I tau I e tino mana ko Raimor. You know, suddenly uki mai rea it connects there.
Yeah.
Why would anybody name maunga pu trai?
Oh, why would anyone make up?
Why would they make up something like that?
Oh, so te tipu yang te apaina yang tapa te au po.
Ko te tua uki tā.
Ko te tua tapa te po ki.
Nā. Me tatau kai te pukata. Akapea koe ni tera Joshua. Ka pera te mure ke Moser. Puri uki e ke no te rā. I kore te rā neke, te tamaki ne uki te ngati Israel. Te ki te nera uke e kare ka te ruti rato. Mea ora toe. Me poi rena ko ulu. Utira e te uruti rea rato. Mea ora toe. Pure e tapu te rara. Me puka koe te rā tūka ki te o iti tangata. Ka mea koe me puka. Te tā rato. Ara mai a maui pe I a tukupanga girunga te rā. Mau te rā rā ka rine kem. Make sense eh? Ina. Me ka karang ko ini pe na tu apa aku nak buka wakati kata tu tak buka ya tak tu Korea kata
Okay, yeah, te Māori a.
o que me eu te au tau are the best way me puka me tua te tua pe e marae tato. We can relate with the kupanga. Yeah, we can relate with the kupanga. Puri ako pro. Akaro e ta mo jere no tra. Yeah. Me pira ko ko bang kamu. Me puka ta mo kata ko wa. What is it? I throw the net over the sun on the couch. Trete me te puka te marae. Ito que tu que te marae pone e to Aotearoa. Me tu kera. Eru anga de bingo ke mara no tu what's the purpose ya tana nga e rua turanga o te marae e ngā I akamurianga e ngā I uibanga ngā I putuputunga no te I te uibanga no te ariki no kore te umatai apo I te uibanga uri mama because I runga te marae me tuto kai ta tuto mana ro ya koe tuto au me tatu mida mai kichi era tatu tuto uri kaumara are ya I runga marae so e rua tu ai ka muriang e le mai ku ba te pukata I tua anga te era Jacob era Jacob travel e tona caravan tona manga pitanga te era putanga te era tu era nda no kamera rui ra ge te puiri mene ya na anga era ka no set up camping kone mo e te nga me to kono na te nga me ka e muy ai kari te muy ai orama dana kite dana binga kite e stay away yara kan te kite ne da angere ta ram guru kumangra ara pujire de mai klang mai ai taputi tato ko muy ai dana binga mani jara mai me akal ko mo e ta to ma ani te tai atara trap la to ko urunga nei mo e ma ani te tai atara offered sacrifices. I taranga, ngai tapu. Tara tutu me mi tara e kapikena to tatou reo e. Pito inua. Ia di piko pito.
Belly button.
Belly button, Te mea onu rato te pito e umbilical cord.
Oh, wow.
Ia,
Didn't know.
ia. Umbilical cord. Ale, te pito ko awo. Ia, the umbilical cord, the connection tara, so, tara umbilical cord, me rungo me te pepe ki ia. Ki rungo tonu mama. Ia, me kapiki rea tau i rea taranga e rea pito inua. Ia tara pito, ai tanga tara pito inua.
Connection.
Ape tara mumu ia. Yes, it's the connection of the earth to the heavens. Ito ito. Now, pero te kata te puka na, te tangata puka maegap. Research trapong. Research kakape te taunga te kite anga tara tanga at mara. Aru kita te ngai pupun ko reo, o tara. Era ko te te mara, tara. Kita na may area, there's a crossroad of magnetic fields. May cross, teranga iti kaya cross, really nui the energy teranga. Really nui, and you feel the spirit ko teranga. Yeah. Research area, matang o the cathedrals at the tineo, ko teranga. Nuri te te upe, arupure me arupure to karo, kare api ke feel na. Era ko te te upe, no te pokane di imin, pokane de lecture, de quadra or but you can't help but feel that thing. It's because of that. Pito ina. Ha itap. Ukara nga uke check up e. Nga itap uke. Tata tu rea Māori rea. Pito ina. Pati marae katoi. Pati mea ngare marae patu iana. Ere me tata taunga. Fast e iara kare e kare unu. Even though you don't believe in the mana of the marae. Yeah. Which is okay, that's your right. But do not disrespect it. It's something that we have very limited knowledge about it. So do not disrespect it. Yeah. It's all right if you don't believe in those things, that's okay. But do not disrespect it because there is something there. Yeah. I know God lives. I know Jesus is the Son of God. I know those things. But that doesn't mean these other things don't exist. So for me, e puri o ana to puri mera o rongo te mara. Not to every day te ura ka to. Not to, I respect that. And I say this kia ora na to uitu. Tere. But to malo ko jinunga e Yesu. Ya o ka ke to to whether they are good spirits or evil spirits, that's not my concern. As long as I know who I trust. Yeah, never to disrespect anything like that. Te me apia na te amapu era me anime. E me ki tu ki no ta to right?
Yeah.
Ado ai, to mo tu o ro nanga. Because I teach them to respect those things, eh? Yeah. But hari ki tato ite to tato turanga spiritual i tra turanga. But what is sufficient? To tato ina kirte Yesu te his father, our Father in heaven. So me kata to tato ina kiri. Aki tu ka tu era ma de te ngutu pa tiri dat maram. Pena te kai te bon. Pena te kai. One day tato puro ka kite tato ire te. Ka toa anga te marama o te tu kairi me anga te au binga re tupu.
How can we encourage them? Te akamari ro i a rātou i te tōtō i te tātou reo Māori.
Okay. Aroanga rapo ni ako te armea a papa arapo te ki aru ki te tere ora karas me aroangi school. Te ia tāna i tutu. If you want to learn good English, you read the English Bible. If you want to learn good Māori, you read the Māori Bible. And if you want to be awesome at both of them, you compare them both together. Simple. Yeah. E tiri, ia tātou aka mahi te tutu. Tātou problem. Mātoro tātou i te awiri a tātou re. Yeah. Te tioki, aka mea, matan mai nei te abi i tōna reo Māori. Ia, me, buha au koe. Yeah. Tera mea ara, shut off ro e kare i nor tamo ko tēnu. Instead of we get karang wat tanu atu bro okay tanu atu dia ada are kata puro tatu ni tengur tanta kata abri tatu di tanta dia taro ke o dia tai wet are tatu ke tu to Māori ako forever are tu to Māori and his children and his children and their children forever because kata abri tatu no ji taro ke what's that problem. Taka tanu ita au tuto, ta tatu tamariki Rarotonga ka ratu tuto Māorian. Nare tuto Māorian. Papa au ata ebong. Kino tu kita ada mga phone. Nga kauparo keo to tatu tamariki iti industry in Australia. Because they're keen to learn. Yeah. They're keen. Kakimi. To tatu reo kakimi. Kaya tangata tuto ka, matarot business i Rarotonga, all business mind. Te tutu a te umitu ere, ia koe tamu te nāreo, kāra koe are amuni ero kome te nāreo. And yet, meri taitam, pupura, akara koe pupura. Te uwaronga o rea tutu o Māori ero, o tarao generation mea mata koe. Nāre me koe muri ke tara mea 21 ere 30, are. Wara. Unless e no misi aro me e, no atiu me e, api ia me e, to e mata wa teme i Rarotonga te to te reo tona enua. But me no Rarotonga nei ngai api e wara ta o tamarika ki te me tutu mai reo tumu tika tara reo Māori. Ngā kou parao nau me ki te tamariki e tutu o Māori mai kia. Angara, tani wiki e, tara tutu rui o arawianga. Koe, herme, koe. And yet in Europe, when you cross this bridge, goes to the other side, totally different language, totally different people. And yet when you go from New Zealand to Rarotonga, same language. It's the same language. You know who made it different? Those who wrote it down. Now the problem is, if it was the English that wrote all the languages down, like Samoa, they go to Samoa and they hear the word for ine, they spell it for ine. All right, now look at my mouth. For ine. If you were from the Czech Republic, how would you spell for ine? Yeah, but okay. Let's say you from France, how would you spell for ine? Yeah. Now, if you were from England, how would you spell it?
W.
Yeah. See, one would spell it with a W.
Oh, yeah.
One would spell it with a V. And then they say this is the official Hawaiian language. Oh, this is the official Samoan language. But it's all Māori. And it was a living language just like the English. We were able to adopt and adapt. For example, how is it that a Oromitu from Raiatea was able to communicate to Tinumana Inua Rurutini? Now, first of all, when you talk to a king, let's say King George, "G'day, George, how's it going?" No, you get thrown out and killed. There's a certain caliber in the English language when you talk to royalty. Okay, that's Papaia talking to Inua Rurutini, Tinumana Inua Rurutini. So he knew the caliber of Māori when he speaks to the king. Secondly, this king is not an idiot. He's not there because, we like it. No, he earned his way there. Very smart. So if you teach rubbish, you're bound to be killed for dinner. Hey, no hesitation. So this missionary had to teach deep doctrine to be able to convert this king, change his way of life, stop killing, stop eating human beings, stop sacrificing babies on the marae, and no more fighting. And not only that, order his whole tribe to change their religion. Not from his village, from Raiatea. How was he able to do that? Because it's the same language.
We're all the same. Same language.
Same family. We can trace our genealogy back. Yeah. We can trace our languages the same back. Of course, it changes over time, but we were still able to adapt and adopt. But because somebody wrote it down, no, That's not the right one. This is the right one. So we kept to that, which is okay.
Yeah.
But we have to realize, hey, we are the same family. Don't forget, I just told you the story of Rarotonga, who is now over the bottom half of the North Island. That's his territory. That's Wellington, his whole territory. And then he's from Achu. Same family. So, for us here in the Cook Islands, when we are amongst ourselves, tuto Māori. Yeah. We don't hesitate to say Māori. But when we have a New Zealander over there, Cook Islands Māori, New Zealand Māori. Yeah. We say that to separate it, to distinguish that that's your one, this is my one. But when we amongst ourselves, we call ourselves Māori. So many times I get a group from New Zealand, from schools, and they come here, and they get surprised when I say Māori. You know, a Tahitian missionary who was a Māori himself taught the gospel to the king, Tinumana. They said, oh, how come he's a Māori? Where is he from? Which tribe in New Zealand? No, this is the original Māori. Hey.
Wow.
But I'm just kidding with the original. It's the same family. That's what I'm saying before. You go to Europe, once you cross that road over there, there's a bridge, you cross it, totally different language. Totally different language. And yet over here, it's almost the same language.
Similar, you can hear that.
Yeah.
Whakarongo mai, akarongo mai,
Oh, my.
haere mai, aere mai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, when we say tato, tato, it was spelled by an Englishman, D-T-A, D-T-O-U.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how he heard it. D-T-A, D-T-O-U. Tato. When the New Zealand Māori pronounce it, tato tato Yeah. Why? It's not their fault. So which one is the correct version? Because it was written differently. Yeah. And we think that's the right way. Takitimu. They call it takitimu. One is takitumu.
The D.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's the same today. I mean, but we've got to understand that it was one family, one ocean, and it's all ours. So let's not fight over it. It's 1/3 of the surface of the earth.
Huge.
Yeah, it's huge. We regarded the ocean as a highway, never as a barrier. That's how our ancestors did it. You know, I'm hoping one day that we will become, our food will be secure. We will have plenty of food. You know, that's the thing that makes us a happy people. You will never be happy if you're hungry. And our Savior Jesus Christ realized that. He cannot teach people when they're hungry. Nobody will listen. So he got the fish and the bread and shared it to the people. If you have food in your cupboard, if you have a 1/4 acre maniota, if you have 10 rows of kumara, you got a couple of pigs, you got some chicken wandering around, you got some water plantation, well, not a plantation, maybe only 10 plants. When you go out, you're happy. You meet the people, kia ora, you can smile because you know you got food. But if you don't have nothing, won't be happy. So if we want tourism to thrive, we need to go back and plant. Then we become happy. Otherwise, we're going to be miserable hosts if we're going to invite guests to come away. Because we're only after their money, we're not really happy. No kura to manok, no kura to kuwa. No, kapo may kuto to kuwa. Nakaro kayo naroto ka mo kape ako para okay. Puro nuwa to eko. But see, when Papia was sharing the gospel or teaching the gospel to Tinumana, now it wasn't a teaching in the privacy of his home. Papia taught on his marae. As he sat down, all his rangatira, all his mataya, The whole tribe, 3,000 people sitting around the marae. So that's the type of, if you can imagine that setting. And this is Papi'ia teaching the gospel. Eh? Now, we, and then Chinomala asked, where is this God that you want me to worship? Where does he live? Papi'ia replied back and said, he lives in the heavens above. When he said that, now because of that, they changed the name of these people from Pu'ekura to Arurangi. Aro means look, Rangi means sky. And that's the name of this village today. See? That's the evidence. All these stories, most of them, they have evidence-based truth. Eh? Then, like Tarato's one. Para-para Yeah. I think about 2-3 years ago, but the actual legend Taratu chant o Tarato. Yeah. Emrauna de Aranganao. There to get you. Tamagianga do the Tonga Yachi. Tirutapuru de. See, we have all that history in our chants, in our songs.
Yeah, in songs, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pedro di tuki teni trera ura to matarigi ki arapa. Totrue paparolo ta ilime tora au kurangare andare ki a tere takaida toke. Yeah, wow. Yeah, pe ya. What do you when you think of that bit?
I don't know, I'm gonna make
It came here.
Yeah.
It came.
Yeah.
Ugi tara ko iru tara pe. Tekniki tara na to tatu ichupu ne tamo te ngo te echu.
No matter, like, hey,
I get only 2 years ago, you get a Namuki Tongi, I get the Melago, Nanimu Church. Yeah, she wrote Tamu, money is rape, Irume came Nata to Tamariki, Tamu, Tado, de Uimo, Hotel Echu.
Wow, wow.
Motariki, Paparoro. It won't make sense to anybody on land, but once you're on the waka, isn't that beautiful?
Oh, yes, that's
so ako we go travel. Ita nga drambe. Ako the toke ugia, the toke. There's another word for, and that's the last word you trape. Toke. Yeah. The toke enu. Ita le taisi te karanga do menu we. Toide. Yeah, toke. Yeah, the ejanga hidra toke. What the eju ro da anu ro. Isn't that beautiful, eh?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So, how are we going to get this across? Your tool, the tool that you two are using, perfect. And you know how to use it. So use it.
Yeah.
Show our children.
Yeah. So I think that was the one that I was really touched. Like when you Papa Megoy, when you told every New Zealand, if you're from Aotearoa, hands up, and then everyone was like, "Yep," and then you were like, "Welcome home." I was like, "Whoa," I was like, that was like beautiful to know. Welcome home, like Te Rarotonga, you welcomed them home. And then, Norato, like, it's like, welcome my Ragoyarato, Torato Inu, Torato Mutuare, like a family. It's a type of hey? Why did he say that?
Well, if they don't want, then they don't want.
It was good to hear. It was good to hear. Man, it makes sense because they're still today said, that's the history behind it. And the Taranaki, and like Chinese whisper. Taranaki. Wow. Yeah.